All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. All right, can someone give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Awesome, thank you. All right, so it's so exciting to see everyone. Hopefully everyone had a good holiday or a mini break if you did have a chance to take time off for the holidays. I certainly enjoyed my time off. So again, thank you for joining us. As we are kicking off this new year, we just wanted to be able to provide an opportunity to share updates and best practices in this virtual recruiting, specifically in virtual career fair recruiting. And then really the other main part of us, why we've decided to do the town hall webinar is really to see what questions or feedback our organization or our employers have so that we can best assist you with your recruiting efforts as we move into the spring semester. So we'll start off with some introductions. I'll go over the agenda briefly, and then hopefully have some time at the end for any questions that you have for us. So to start off, my name is Mainia Shong. I am the Employer Relations Manager with Career and Professional Development at the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh. I am also one of the primary career advisor for our healthcare and social assistance industries. With me this morning, I also have Lindsay. So I'm going to go ahead and have Lindsay introduce herself.
Good morning, I'm Lindsay White. I'm the Database and Recruitment Coordinator at UWO, and I run all things Handshake and posting jobs and letting other employers in. So contact me, please, if you have any questions.
Great, and Jamie, our director, will be joining us later. She has another meeting that she is in this morning. So hopefully she'll be able to join us shortly after that meeting. I'm going to start off to just a quick overview of UW Oshkosh, because there are some new organizations that are joining us this morning. So for some of those organizations, they may not be as familiar. So I'll start off with a brief overview of our university and our office. I'll dive into some information about our career fairs on our university, and then move into incentives and updates for registering and creating schedules early on. And then the later half of this town hall meeting will be really hearing your feedback and a Q&A session. So for UW Oshkosh here, we are a one university, 3 campus. So if you are not aware, we have Oshkosh as our main our main campus. And those are for students who are pursuing a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, or our PhD degree in our healthcare. And then our 2 access campus, UW Fox Cities, as well as UW Fond du Lac, those are our 2-year university. So for students who are looking for certifications or associate's degree. And for our events, all students are encouraged to attend. So now that it's moving into the 3rd year of us being one university, 3 campus, we are starting to do more recruiting on those campuses. Those students are invited to attend all of our networking events. So any of our career fairs or like I said, our networking events, those students will be participating as well. On here for our office, our career and professional development office, we are a centralized office. So we service all students across the 4 universities that we have. And we service all of those majors. We advise students based on a industry advising model, just because we do have a large number of majors. And so with our team of 10 advisors, each of us oversee a specific industry. And so if you're looking to connect with the students, for your specific industry, let's say you're in the manufacturing industry, I would make note of who our manufacturing industry advisors are and be able to connect with them, to hash out a plan for how you could better connect with students for your specific industry. Handshake is really the main platform that we utilize to connect students and employers. So if you want to get your opportunities out there, if you have events that you would like to advertise to our students and have our students participate in, I really highly recommend you utilizing Handshake if you don't already have an account on there, because the majority of how we connect our students and employers, especially in this virtual time, is through the Handshake platform. Our office is opened and in full swing, so we are serving students both in person and virtually. So I know with a lot of different universities, which is the situation with COVID, a lot of universities are doing things differently. But just so you are aware, we are servicing our students both in person and virtually. All right, so let's see. Here's just a quick snapshot of our team, our career and professional development team. Um, like I said earlier, Jamie will be joining us earlier, but if you have any questions about career fair, which this town hall is mainly going to be focused on, Jody Kelmis is our career fair and budget manager. So she organizes and arranges all of our career fair. So if you have any questions, definitely reach out to her. Otherwise, you can always reach out to myself or Jamie and Lindsay with any questions that you have, and we can assist you as well with those. I know that Jody is swamped with a lot of things going on. So if you don't hear from her, just shoot myself or Jamie an email and we'll be happy to respond. So I'll leave this slide up for a bit in case you want to make note of the advisor that works with your industry. Otherwise, we do have this infographic on our website as well that you can access. And we started going into the industry advising model just because, like I said earlier, we work with so many different majors, right? And our students can really go into, so for example, I used to work with psychology students, and with psychology, they can really go into all industry. They can go into healthcare, social assistance, manufacturing. And for me to be an expert or have knowledge of all of those industries was tricky, right? Or me trying to remember out of the 20 majors that I was advising, what each of them could do was also a challenge. And so we've moved into this industry advising model I think that we're going into 3 years now, and it has worked extremely well. And also allows our advisors to build better connections with those employers that are in those specific industry that they work with as well. All right. Our career fair, so just a brief overview of all of the fairs that we do offer at UW Oshkosh. So our spring 2021 career fair in the Fox will be virtual again. We will be using the Handshake virtual career fair platform for all of our fairs. The career fair in the Fox is by far our largest career fair with the highest number of students and employer participants. All students from across, again, the four majors, the four colleges, and across all of our majors are encouraged to participate. All employers from various industries are encouraged to register for this event. So that career fair has been moved up. I think this is kind of exciting and also a little bit for me, a little bit anxious is because we are moving our career fair earlier. So if you have attended our career fair in the past, and we've always kind of run it mid-February or later. But for the first time, we will be running our career fair earlier. So that will be on Wednesday, February 17th from noon to 4 in the Handshake platform. We also have industry-specific career fairs that we host. So for those in the industry-specific career fairs, only organizations that are in that industry are able to register for those events. So for our industry-specific ones, we have our Education Career Fair, which will be on Thursday, April 15, from 11:30 to 1. And again, that's in a Handshake. And for this one, a number of our education students or any students that are interested in going into the education industry are welcome to or are encouraged to attend. So if you are within this industry and this fall in this category, higher education fits into this as well. So and that would be the ideal fair to attend if you are looking to recruit students for your education industry. We also have our healthcare career fair. And again, this is for students that are really not just our nursing students. We do have a wonderful nursing program, and we do have a high number of nursing students that attend the healthcare career fair, but there are other opportunities within the healthcare that are non-nursing students will attend as well. So if you're in the healthcare industry and you're looking to recruit for a HR internship, you will have students that will be attending if they're interested in doing an HR internship in the healthcare industry. So that event will be on April 7th from 10 to 1 and the Handshake platform as well. And then our other event that we have is our Creating Connections event. So while this is not a traditional career fair, this event is unique in that it is our networking event that is open to really all students. And the intent and purpose of this event is really to help our students with their professional development, mainly in helping teach our students on how to network, how to carry a conversation with a organization, and really giving our employers the opportunity to share about their opportunities, about their companies, and really at the same time teach our students on how to better network, right? Because we know in career that networking is really the key number one way of how students get opportunity, and it's a skill that not all students have. And so this event we've had now, if you have attended in the past, it's changed tremendously over the year. Um, it's moved from having an inclusive component to now kind of really focusing on just teaching our students on how to network. And on average, we have about 150 to 200 students that attend this event. This is a great way for organizations to brand their organization and company, because we do collaborate very closely with our Quest 2 courses. So Quest 2 courses are second semester freshman students that take the Quest courses, and we collaborate with all of the Quest courses, and we do a presentation for those students on how to put together a resume, how to carry a conversation in a professional setting, and how to network. And so we go in there to really try to work with the students earlier on, so that we can help them launch their career professional development earlier versus waiting until they're junior or senior and then actively seeking and then start developing those skills. That really has worked really well. We've been doing that for the last 4 years now. And in total, there's typically about 1,200 students in average that we do present or connect with. And these students will be encouraged to attend a career fair or the Creating Connections event. And so that really kind of helped. And so if you are looking to develop early talent early on, we know that developing student interest in an organization or branding your organization with students is not a one-time thing. The earlier you are able to connect with students, right? Even if you're not actively looking to recruit and hire a freshman, if they come in contact with you as a freshman, they're more likely to come back and connect with you when they're a sophomore. And then if they connect with you again as a sophomore, they're more likely to connect with you as a junior and senior and consider your organization for opportunities. So that event is free for organization to attend, and that will be virtual as well. In the past, it's been an in-person event, but we will be using the Zoom for this event. So I'll have more information out there. So if you're interested, I highly encourage you to consider attending that event. And that will be Wednesday, April 7th. So the same day as the healthcare career fair, just later that evening. All right, and just a quick snapshot. So in our office, we really focus on, not just helping students find opportunity, but really helping students with professional skills development. So this is that's Zach, who graduated recently. And like I said earlier, our office, we don't just focus on helping students with finding out a job, but really teaching them these skills so that, once they graduate and move on, they will continue to have those life skills. And so this Zach attended a career fair, and this is what he has to say. So, quote, further utilization and maximization of key opportunities, such as career fair in the Fox, provided me with the opportunity to connect with industry leaders, sell myself as a young professional, and establish lasting connections, ultimately leading to my post-graduation accepted offer with secure insurance. So Zach is a good example of a student that, attend our networking events, several networking events, several career fair, and really working to build those relationships and those connections, and then eventually which helped him secure a full-time opportunity. Um, so like I said, we hope that as our office, that through our career fair, through our networking event, that we can help teach students on how to work within different profession, but also help them as professional and sharpen their professional skills. So our before I move into a career fair overview, really I just want to highlight some of the student benchmarks that have been shared through Handshake and the Handshake virtual career fair recruiting platform. So with our fall 2020 career fair on a Fox, so this past fall semester, we had a total of 469 students that attended. We had close to, I would say, roughly 800, between 800 and 900 connections that were made from those students. So we know that on average, students that attend the career fair or a career fair typically would participate in a average of 2 sessions. So whether that's a group or a one-on-one session. So those were, I think we were really excited that we had that good of a turnout for our virtual career fair, and just a sheer number of connections that our students were able to make with the employers that attended. 81% of students who attended a session once they registered. So, we know students register for the event, a certain percentage of them will not attend, but if they register for a session, the likelihood of them actually attend the fair and participating and showing up for that session is a lot higher. So, this goes to say for those that have already registered for the career fair, the earlier you can get your sessions created and out there, the more likelihood of students signing up for it and also showing up and connecting with you on that day. And then 58% of students that attended a fair viewed an employer, browsed jobs, or applied for a job on Handshake within 2 weeks. So just being able to connect with organizations, right? And I think the big myth in a lot of the students that I've been connecting with is that it's hard to find a job, that there's not opportunities out there because of COVID. But we know that our employers and a high number of employers and organizations are still recruiting and still hiring, right? And so when students actually attend the fair and connect with you as employers, they're like, oh, really? There are opportunities you're looking to hire? Because I think they just don't think that they'll be able to find an internship or a job. And I really appreciate employers that are taking time to connect with students and saying, actually, we're still hiring, because I think that breaks down those myths and those biases, right? But like I said, based on just my interaction with students, that's been the big thing of actually there's a lot of opportunity still, right? It's just the shift in what industry has an increase in hiring, and there are specific industries that have decreased hiring because of COVID, but there are still a need and demand for opportunities there. So that's just just some quick benchmarks as you're looking into moving into the virtual career fair recruiting. Some of the recommendations for our career fair. So if you have already registered or planning to attend a career fair, here are some of the recommendations that our UWO career fair, our UWO professional career and professional development team recommends. So we highly recommend having at least one group session, and definitely have one-on-one sessions throughout the duration of the fair. So what we found last semester was that some organization had only, like, if the fair was from 12 to 4, they will only have sessions from 2 to 3. I would recommend actually having one-on-one sessions available throughout the whole duration. I would encourage you to treat it as if if you are physically at a fair, right? You're at the booth, to just consider that even if students do not sign up for a session, be present for the entire event. Um, 29% of students registered for the for a session on the day of the career fair or the day before, right? And what we found last semester was that we had a high number of students who came in because, and it's for various reasons. One of the main reasons why students did not show up for their session was because conflict issues, right? Something came up and they weren't able to. And so a lot of our students cannot anticipate or have a harder time anticipating on if things are going to run longer in this virtual setting. And so we did have a high number of students sign up for sessions on the day of the fair, and the employer did not show up because they looked at their schedule and they didn't see anyone sign up. So they said they assumed that students weren't going to come on. And so just keep that in mind. I would encourage you. I think with the update that Handshake has implemented will help. So if you are on the schedule page, the nice thing about the update that Handshake has made is that it will auto refresh and display a notification every time a student cancel or signs up for a session. So if you keep that schedule page or tab open when you are in the fair, that will help you kind of stay in real time update with whether students are jumping in or not. So again, don't rely just on having the sessions that are booked ahead of time. So just anticipate on having students signing last minute or jumping in on the day or the day before. And those students that, and you know that if the students sign up for those one-on-one sessions, there's just going to be lower no-shows, and the students that do attend are more likely to be motivated students as well and interested in actually looking for those opportunities. So just make sure you are present for the whole duration of the event and have all of your sessions created throughout the whole duration as well. We recommend reaching out to students prior to the fair via Handshake. So employers have unlimited messages to students that they have previously interacted with. So if a student's applied for your job or have connected with you on Handshake or followed you on Handshake, you can send unlimited messages to those students. And this interaction now with the updates with Handshake too. So students who sign up for the career fair and also sign up for a session that whether that's a group or a one-on-one session, you will be able to message them and look at their profile and information ahead of time. So if you go on your career fair dashboard, there is our RSVP tab now that you can look at to see which students have signed up with you for a session or a group session. And you can view their profile ahead of time. You can also pull their public resume if they have a public resume uploaded. So I think that's really nice that that tab is now included and that you as employer can go and look at that to see which students have signed up, and to also allow you to track the RSVP after the career fair. So you'll continue to have access to that list of students and see who and which students you have interacted with. And then use the last thing we recommend is just use the one-on-one session qualification sparingly. So, when you're creating your session, it asks, is there a specific major? Is there a specific classification? So that's freshman, sophomore, junior, senior status, and also GPA. That limits our student because for a number of reasons, right? Our information is automatically imported to Handshake, and sometimes that information may not be accurate. Or if that information is missing from the query, then they may not have a GPA. And even if they qualify for your position, if you have those criteria or those qualifications set, they may not be able to sign up for it. So I recommend using those sparingly. I encourage you to allow all students and majors to sign up for your session from the beginning. Or if you would like to, allow specific students to sign up, and if all your sessions don't fill up, then you can consider opening it up to all students and majors at least 2 days prior to the career fair. That would ensure that you have a higher number of students that you are able to connect with. All right, and then for on the day of the career fair best practices, so definitely consider testing the handshake video. We had a number of employers or organizations that had issue with just technology. So know that Chrome is the preferred browser when you're using the handshake platform. Handshake has also created, once you create a schedule or register and create a schedule, you can see an in-app notification to test your handshake video. So I would highly encourage taking time to test those video ahead of time. Otherwise, they do have a general or link that you can access and create a video session and invite your colleagues ahead of time to test out and make sure that all of your equipment and technology is working appropriately. Um, Another quick reminder here to keep your schedule page up because that auto refresh and notification is going to ensure that you don't miss any students that sign up on the day of or last minute. And then we will have a Zoom room during all of our career fair event and our networking event. That if you have any questions or any issues or have trouble connecting, jump into the Zoom room and one of our staff member will be available to assist you. The Zoom room will be open at least an hour prior to the career fair and throughout the duration of the event. So um, if you do have issues for any reason on the day of our career fair, just know that you have access to that. If you can't access the Zoom room, just give our office a call and someone will direct you and assist you with any questions that you have. All right, so for our updates and incentives, so for updates with the Handshake platform, and when I say updates, that's for the Handshake Virtual Career Fair platform. Just know that employers can unmute students. So if a student's raise their hand and ask to be unmute, you can allow students to speak. There will be a student will be able to raise their hand function in those group settings. I know it was a little bit difficult in the past when you have a number of students in your session and then being able to let them in or let them speak. So they did allow that function. Um, Students and employers can share their screen out in a one-on-one session. So if you are meeting with a student and they have a project or something that they would like to show you, they can now share their screen. Or if they want to share their resume with you, they can screen share during those one-on-one session. There is now also, you will receive a 1-minute notification or 1-minute warning if you're coming to the close to the end of your session time. And I would encourage you to try to stay within the time frame because our students sometimes do sign up for back-to-back sessions. And so it is nice that they've embedded that 1-minute warning. So then, and for you as employers too, right? Sometimes you're just in the groove of it, having really great conversation, and then realize that it's time, and I have another session that I need to jump off into. And so they did add that feature, so you will get a 1-minute warning when a session is ending. And the maximum number of group sessions that an employer or organization can create has increased from 3 to 12. So I know in the past fairs, you've been able to just have 3 group sessions, but just know that per employer now for this coming up semester, you can have up to 12 group sessions. However, my recommendation or my preference would say the one-on-one session tend to be, just based on our students' feedback and employer feedback. The one-on-one sessions would be preferred. I think that allows you to have a much more in-depth and be able to connect with students on a much more more in-depth basis. So I would recommend having those one-on-one sessions. If for employers, so our students who, for employers who register, paid, and create their schedule at least 2 weeks prior to the career fair date. If you, again, register, pay, and create your schedule at least 2 weeks prior to our career fair in the Fox date, you could send a request to our team for a resume book. So if you register early, Lindsay will create a link for a request form, and you can identify the major and the classification that you are interested in connecting with, and then we will go through Handshake and pull any public resume that fit those criteria. So if you say, I am interested in communication, juniors and senior students, we'll go and pull and create a resume book for you. So again, if you register, paid, and create your schedule at least 2 weeks prior to the career fair date, you can request for a resume book, or you can request a resume book of all of the students that attend the career fair afterwards as well. So that would just be public resumes that our students upload, and we will be launching some campaigns to ensure and encourage our students to make their resume public, so that hopefully you get a good amount of resumes for those. So that's just a nice incentive for employers who are considering and interested in connecting with our students. All right, and then we're almost there. I know this is a lot of information. So, and lastly, just know that there are additional career fair support resources available. Handshake is offering pre-fair support for employers through email that you could just send, your questions and they'll respond to you. They also offer weekly office hours that you can jump into and ask questions that you have. And I've mentioned this earlier, but on the day of the fair, we will have Zoom room assistance available. And then there is a link on here, and I'll share the PowerPoint so that you can access the link on here, but there are a ton of information on the Handshake help support website, which is how to troubleshoot the virtual fair platform. So if you have any question, there are resources out there to assist you. All right, so Q&A. So like I said, that is a lot of questions, a lot of information. But now I just want to turn it over to what questions do you have? What feedback? Anything that we can help answer for you as we move into this new recruiting season? And I think Jamie is here as well. So I will have Jamie jump in and introduce herself.
Good morning. Again, if I have not met you, my name is Jamie Page Dadler. I'm the Director of Career and Professional Development. Very excited for the 2021 recruiting season to see what we might be able to accomplish together. So really interested in assisting you in recruiting at UW Oshkosh and connecting you with some talent.
So if you have any question, please feel free to use the chat feature to type in your questions, and then between Lindsay, myself, and Jamie, we will answer those for you. Jamie, do you want to take that one?
Excellent. That is a great question. I don't think there's a right answer to that question. It's definitely going to be off of timing. We have cohorts of students that we recommend go to the niche fairs. So for education, our student teachers are all going to be participating in that event. For our healthcare, we have a cohort of nursing students that will be participating in that event. The Career Fair and the Fox, they are welcome to attend that as well. So it depends on what type of student you're interested in. If you're looking for a younger education or nursing student, you might be better off going to the general Career Fair and the Fox. There is no right or wrong answer, and I know that you will connect with students no matter what fair you choose. It's going to work off of your timeline as well.
So someone asked, if to provide examples of the group sessions, how long they are, and how does that look like. So the group sessions are 30 minutes, and you can have any, really, I don't think there's a limit to how many students can sign up for those sessions. But typically in the fall semester, I joined a couple of group sessions, and our employers, a number of employers facilitated those differently. So, the intent of those group is to allow our organization to be able to provide a broad overview of their company or organization, maybe share opportunities that they are looking to recruit for, and really allow students to ask questions about the organization and about those opportunities. So they are 30 minutes. For those that have participated in past fairs, once the session starts, students weren't allowed to join, but the change that Handshake has made is that now students can join the session late. So just know that. I know our students, if they were running behind on schedule because they were interacting with the employer, once the group session started, students weren't able to join, but nice change. Now students can join in session late, but really it would be the employer sharing that. I know I joined a really neat session that one of our organization did. So they did a scavenger hunt, right? And so they shared they had a number of questions, and then students went on their website and answered those questions. And then students who answered a question correctly received their name were written down and they were entered into a drawing. And so really the intent and purpose of the scavenger hunt was for students to be able to learn about the organization on their own by browsing the website, right? And it just encourages students to go out on that employer's webpage. But I think, as an organization, you can choose to facilitate those group sessions how you want them to, but it'll be kind of like this, really, like how I'm presenting, and then you can raise your hand, you can ask question, and that. Anything you want to add to that, Jamie? Okay.
It's a question about resume books, so I will go ahead and take that one. I'm planning on, as Mania said, 2 weeks before the fair, if you have registered, paid for your booth, and gotten your schedule set in there, I will go ahead and pull those companies out and send a forms link, and you can choose the school year and the majors that you're looking for, and let me know that you wish to receive the resume book of public resumes, and I'll get that to you.
Yeah, I just saw that question. So I will be organizing that event. So the dates and everything is time. We were just waiting to see what platform we were going to utilize for that, and to really wait to hear from request to faculty before we jump into that. So I will be creating that event, and within next week, you should have see that event created. I will have it created as an event. So and once it's created, I will send a email through Handshake. So just keep an eye out for it, hopefully next week sometime. Yeah, I think the sessions do start, and then you can unmute yourself, but I think all participants will be muted unless you allow them to unmute themselves. Just kind of like how Zoom works, right? So you can set those settings on your own. So someone asked about education students. So are you looking to provide just like information about opportunities? If that's the case, I would definitely first encourage you to post it on Handshake because all of our students do have access to opportunities on there. And if you shoot me an email, what I've done in the past for employers is if you shoot me an email and say, hey, Nia, I have this opportunity that I would like to advertise to our education students. I can share that with our education industry advisors, and then they can connect it or send it out to their education students. I am not sure if there is a way to see all of the students. I know last semester you were able to see the students on that are in your sessions on the right menu bar, but I don't know if it's going to allow us to do this. I don't know if Jamie, do you have an update on that, if they've changed that?
I don't have an update on that, but as soon as we are able to test the new platform, we can answer some of those questions and put them out in the event, so you know some FAQ. As we get information from Handshake with additional changes, since they are going to be making them through the first week in February, we'll make sure that you are aware of what those changes are so that you can plan accordingly.
So the cost to attend the education fair is $40. And I think it's the same for the healthcare, correct, Jamie? Yeah, so it's $40 for the healthcare career fair as well. So I know there's been a number of questions again about the resume book. We will, what our plan is to, as we get closer, as employers are registering, once we see that they've created, we'll run a list to see if employer have created in their sessions, and then we will send you an email with a link to submit that request if you're interested in the resume book. That way it allows us to do it by a timestamp and up to that 2 weeks prior to. Yes, you can join the group session. You can share your PowerPoint as well. You can screen share, join that.
I would say the main intent for the resume books is just to get schedules out there. Students are more apt to attend the event if they are able to ensure a time slot. That is the huge advantage of a virtual fair. At an in-person fair, students sometimes have to wait in line and hope that they're able to fit in all of the different organizations. So this is definitely an advantage of virtual fairs. So that makes our job a lot easier when we're out talking with students, having faculty promote the event, and engaging our new students who will also be possibly attending this event, but will be attending one of our fairs this semester.
So someone asked if there's going to be a natural science or science-based career fair. We do not at this point. So we just have the education and the healthcare, because those are our top two industries that we work with. And a number of those programs we collaborate with closely. And so they are encouraging, is built into their program. And so that allows our students to that allows us to connect students to employer in a much more streamlined way. And so right now we just have those industry. So someone asked if you would be able to sign up for a healthcare fair if you are not in that industry. At this time, we are only allowing employers within that industry to register for that. Any other questions?
So the question regarding how one would use the office hours. So Handshake offers office hours weekly for employers to connect with them. I would say that employers typically use those office hours to look at all of their schedules for all of the events that they're going to, or if they're having any issue or troubleshooting through different members of their team in getting access to Handshake, since Handshake functions as an umbrella, or contacts go into Handshake and then they come down through the different schools. So depending on how your organization is set up for approval, that is typically why employers would use the office hours for Handshake.
And I think there was an earlier question that we might have missed. So should we interact with students similarly online as we do in person, or is there a difference in interactions online? A number of us might answer this differently. From my standpoint, I would say I would encourage you to interact them like you would in person, right? Have that introductions, those same conversation, because it's what the one-on-one sessions are 10 minutes in length. So, you know, it's not a lot of time. So it'll be like your traditional career fair. If a student come up and you do that quick exchange of introductions, answer questions that they might have, when you share your resources or opportunities or information about your organization, and that 10 minutes up. So I think it can look very similar to a in-person fair. Anything you want to add to that, Jamie?
I think virtually as engaging as you can be. In person, you're already engaging because you're standing together and you can read more of the body language than you can virtually. So again, as engaging as you can be without being over the top, because obviously we don't want to scare students. But being genuine, asking maybe more questions than you might about them to make that connection a little bit stronger so that it's memorable. That would probably, you can't handle the tchotchkes. Sometimes students really like that, but again, referring them to another contact within your company, identify that career path, maybe not just that initial position, but career pathing is also a big connection point for students with internship to entry-level positions.
I'm chuckling because that is very true. Students are probably more scared of us than we are of them. You know, I think it does definitely take, it's a whole nother layer of comfort when it comes to interacting in a virtual setting. I think many of us who are not used to being on virtual and interacting like this, it does take some warming up to. But our students are, as I'm hopeful that as we move into the second semester, we'll be a little bit more comfortable with it, because a number of them are taking virtual classes and have gotten finally in the groove. I was teaching a class too in person, and I think, you know, finally found a groove on how to navigate and work in a virtual setting. So, all right. So any other questions? I know we have a little bit of time here yet. I don't see any more questions coming in. So if there's no more questions, then, you know, we can certainly just wrap up. I appreciate everyone taking time to join us this morning. And if you think of any additional question or have any follow-up question, please do not hesitate to reach out to myself, Jamie, or anyone on our team. So have a good rest of your day. And yes, you will receive a copy of the recording as well as the PowerPoint.
Thanks for joining us.